Continues to get slams by at least college sports fans. The F. Joe Biden chants continuing at weekend events and venues all over the country. And joining us now to talk more about 9/11 is the CEO at A2C, Craig Spitzer. He's also the founder of the Alliance Consulting Group. Craig also lost 7 of his employees on 9/11. Craig, great to have you with us.
Thank you.
I want to first talk about those employees and pull up a picture you shared with us that hangs in your office now. 7 American flags, and under the names of those, or under those flags, the 7 names of your coworkers you lost. So, what was your, what were your feelings like on Saturday, Craig? How was the day for you?
A tough remembrance, quite honestly. The biggest thing for me is looking at the fact that 20 years later, these 7 people who were all between the age of about 26 and 40 years old lose out on so much in life, don't get to do so many things that they should have gotten to do. And the sad part is it seems like it was all for naught, as we're kind of back in the same place. The most difficult thing for me, quite honestly, like anyone else who probably was as close to it as I, is that it happened at all, and now we're rethinking about all of it, and not a lot seems to have moved forward.
Where were you when the plane struck the towers, specifically?
I was in my apartment. I was living in Greenwich Village at the time. Our office was on the 102nd floor of One World Trade Center. And as I was leaving my apartment, my phone, my cell phone, and my pager at the time started all going off. I looked down at my pager very quickly, and it was one of my friends saying, a plane just flew into your building. Are you okay? So I went to my balcony. I saw flames coming out of the building. I was then on the phone to try to figure out, as many of us were at the Port Authority, what should we tell our people to do as the other plane hit, and I watched the building fall before my eyes as my head went numb.
You hear the stories this weekend, you hear the names of the people we lost, and you just want to say it over and over again. We never will forget. It does seem like some folks have forgotten. I know you will never forget. We also can look at New York City. It's a very resilient place, and we've talked about some of the things you've invested in the past without getting too detailed into that. You have supported the comeback of the city in previous years. Can New York come back from COVID? I mean, is it still the same resilient place it has always been historically, or has New York changed forever?
Well, I think that, quite honestly, all the cities in the United States have changed for a while. I do believe that New York is the greatest city in the world. My father's side of the family emigrated from Eastern Europe through into the New York City area. My dad grew up in Brooklyn. I lived in New York City for 23 years, and I do believe that New York City will bounce back. I do believe it's going to take some time. I think that the large cities in this country have issues with crime and with education, and under the current leadership, I don't see that bouncing too far back. I think that the current issue, as it relates to what you're talking about, is that a lot of the money is leaving the city because people are finding different ways to live their lives day to day. So I do think that New York City, under new leadership, which hopefully is about to happen, will bounce back. I do think it will take some time, and I do think it will take a lot of elbow grease. And one of the big issues now is the current money is leaving the city. I think that a lot of the people who are going back into the city now are some younger people who want to take advantage of what cities can give to a life. But I think a lot of the people of around my age, quite honestly, who probably thought we were going to live our whole lives in the city, are leaving the city, and that takes a lot of the money out, and a lot of the money is needed for education and for safety. So I think that it's going to be a fight, but I think it'll happen.
Well, the fight for the mayor's race is one of the issues there. We got the governor's situation in New York, a lot of upheaval in that state. One thing you do miss, though, is that 9/12 kind of unity. We certainly don't see that today. Craig Spitzer, thanks for your time. Great to see you.
Hey, thank you. Always.
Anytime. Craig Spitzer for us.